Hi, this is David Brannen, founder and managing lawyer here at Resolute Legal. In this video, I want to talk to you about your responsibilities as an injured worker to report your workplace injury and where you need to report it and the things you need to keep in mind. After watching this video, you'll know the 3 places you need to report this injury, your timelines for doing so, and some of the problems you'll run into if you don't do this quickly enough. Now, if you like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us your comments, and we'll see you back here as we release these videos out a few times a week. How do you go about reporting and who do you report injuries to if you are the injured worker in New Brunswick? So there are 3 places you need to report your injury. I'm going to list them, then we'll go through each one in detail. So the 3 are, you need to report it to your employer, you need to report it to your doctor, and you need to report it to WorkSafe New Brunswick, which is the workers' compensation program in New Brunswick. So let's start with the reporting. So number 1, it's critical that if you are injured in the workplace that you report it immediately to your employer. That will trigger duties by your employer that they then have to report your injury to workers' compensation within 3 days. It's critical that you report your injury to the employer because workers' compensation will look at, if you wait and report later, they will look at things to consider, like if you've wasted time or you've delayed in telling the employer about your injury, it will raise allegations on whether this was even a workplace injury to begin with. And they'll also look at whether your delay has caused prejudice or caused problems that can't be fixed for the employer. And that could lead them to just deny your claim on that basis. So it's critical that you report this to your employer immediately after the injury, even if you don't think it's that serious. It's important that you do it. And it's important that you have some record that you've told the employer, either an email, or you, after you talk to them, you write it down. There has to be some paper trail so you can prove you told the employer, because the employer may later deny that you've told them. See, the employer has an obligation as soon as you tell them to notify WorkSafe within 3 days. Some employers don't want to notify on these injuries because it causes their rates to go up, so they have a conflict there. So you have to make sure you've told the employer and you have proof that you told the employer. Number 2, you need to report it to your doctor. One of the things to qualify for benefits is that it needs to be an injury which requires some type of medical attention to qualify for workers' compensation benefits. Sometimes these injuries, they might not seem that serious in the beginning, or you might feel embarrassed about it, and maybe you didn't get a lot of treatment right away, but over time, some injuries can get worse, or you just realize you were more hurt than you thought you were, and you should be getting treatment. It's important that you report the injury immediately to your doctor, so there can be no dispute that somehow you got hurt outside of work and now you're trying to blame it on work in order to get these benefits. The longer you wait to report the injury, the more doubts people are going to have, and the harder it's going to be for you to be able to prove that this was a workplace injury because you didn't tell anybody. Now, several months later, you're coming up with this injury. Who knows what's happened in the last few months? And if this was a serious injury, shouldn't you have told somebody earlier? You don't want to be dealing with all those things. So report it to your doctor, explain how the injury happened. A lot of doctors will actually have forms available in the office that they'll fill out a report and send it off to WorkSafe, but that's not necessary. It's most important that you report it to the doctor and have it recorded and have a record of it. The next thing is you need to report it to WorkSafe. The way it works in New Brunswick, they've kind of split up the reporting. In some provinces, they try to require the employer and the employee to submit one form in. That sounds good in theory, but often there's animosity between employers and employees, or it's hard to get everybody on the same page, and so it can cause delays or problems with getting this single report in from both of you. So in New Brunswick, they wanted to simplify it, and I do credit them for this, is they split the report into 2. The employer has to send in their one report. They have to send that in within 3 days of you notifying them about the injury, or 3 days if they're aware of 3 days when they're aware of the injury, whether you notify them or not, they have to get it in there. And if they're not aware of it, it's 3 days from when you notify them. They have to get their employer report in. So for you, though, you also have a report that you can submit. It's an application for workers' compensation benefits. It's only filled out by you, and you need to get that filled in and get it in. You can get that you can get that report online. You can get it on our website, but that is the third piece of the puzzle here. You need to report it as well to workers' comp. And once you report it in, you just fill out the form. It's a very simple form. They'll get back to you with wanting more information, and we'll take it from there. But the reporting is extremely important. Even if you're not sure you're going to need it, even if you don't think you need anything right now, let's just say you're not hurt that bad, you're not even missing time from work yet, still report it. You don't know where this is going to come up in a few years, or maybe you'll get hurt down the road. As long as you've reported it to these 3 areas, you're going to be fine if later on this thing gets worse and now you have a claim. the way workers' compensation works, it covers you for your lifetime. If you can prove your injury causes ongoing problems and medical needs and it interferes with your work, it can cover you right up to age 65 and sometimes beyond. If you're in one of these situations where you don't do much early on, you don't do all this reporting, then you could fall into this trap where now you're having to try to prove whether your injury was work-related when you know for a fact it was, but because you didn't report it, now people are going to question your credibility. So there you have it. You got those 3 areas to report. Make sure you do all 3. And I will see you back here next time. Take care. Bye-bye.